by GTE, and by Phillips 66. Our final Raycom Southwest Conference game of the week brings us to Aggieland today, College Station, where the Horned Frogs of TCU will tackle the bowl-bound Aggies of Texas A&M. And welcome to Kyle Field. Dave Barnett along with Dave Rowe. Interesting matchup today. From the TCU standpoint, they have a chance for their first winning season since 1984. The Aggies, slim chances for the Cotton Bowl, much better chances for the Holiday Bowl against Brigham Young. And for TCU to pull off the upset today, an awful lot of pressure on the banged-up shoulders of their quarterback, Matt Vogler.
Well, banged up really describes Matt Vogler. 3 weeks ago, he passed for 690 yards. 2 weeks ago, he separated his shoulder. Everybody said he's going to pack up his tent and go home. But let me tell you, that young man is starting, and he's starting again today.
Now, for the Aggies, the final home appearance of statistically at least the greatest running back in the history of the Southwest Conference. That covers a little ground, talking about Darren Lewis.
Boy, when you talk about covering ground, Darren Lewis is that player. They don't call him the tank for nothing. 4,749 yards, and he's still climbing.
Aggies with 17 straight wins in this series by an average of 25 points per game. TCU will try to cut into that tradition. And we return for the kickoff at Kyle Field after these messages from Southwest Airlines.
It looked like another boring month.
Beacon, with the wind behind him, drills one, and that is Simmons 9 yards deep. Aggies take over after the touchback at their 20. And the top Aggie offense ever, quarterback Bucky Richardson starting. We expect to see some of Lance Pavlis today. Bucky's numbers this year, of course, mainly a running quarterback through his career. The junior from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, John Powell Richardson, coming off a late 1988 knee injury, cost him a medical redshirt year all last year, and he has come back extremely strong this year. Aggies in the eye. And a quick pitch on first down. Darren Lewis, and he'll turn the corner after a gain of 4 yards to the 24, chased out by Tunji Bolden, the left defensive end for TCU. Along with Richardson and Lewis, Robert Wilson is the fullback. Shane Garrett, Dennis Ransom, and Gary Oliver, all seniors at the receiving spots. Up front, Jason Rockhold, a couple of injured Aggies, Pappas and Arthur starting. Ellisor and McCall make up the huge right side of their offensive line. And Richardson of the Aggies ready on second down and 6. This time the wideouts on the left side, and the handoff goes straight off right tackle to Robert Wilson, who will ramble for 14 up near the 40-yard line. LaVoyle Crump, the strong safety there for the TCU tackle, and the TCU defense lining up this way. Bolden, Prather, Walton, and Collins in the front pool. Cauble, Smith, and Anderson starting for the injured Richard Booker to strong side linebacker. In the secondary, Brown, Hickman, Rand, and Crump. First down for the Aggies. Wilson getting a breather, and Doug Carter checks in at fullback. They send Garrett in motion, and another pitch to Darren Lewis. And this time, Roosevelt Collins shedding his block and brings him down for a loss of about 3. Here's today's Southwest Airlines Team Must, and we start with the Aggies today.
Well, first of all, focus on TCU. They can't look ahead. Roll with the tank. We all know who the tank is, Darren Lewis. And then disarm the triple shoot, excuse me. Disarm that triple shoot. They have got to get pressure on Vogler today.
Loss of 3, second and 13. And Lewis the lone setback. Play action for Richardson, being chased by Bolden, and he will veer out of bounds at the 39-yard line. That's the original line of scrimmage. That brings up third down and 10. Best rushing ever by an Aggie quarterback, and he's got one more year. 505 of those rushing yards this year. He has averaged 7.2 yards per carry. I don't know that I've ever seen a quarterback average 7 yards a carry.
I haven't either. You almost think, why don't you just give him the ball every time?
Well, you got to get him Lewis back there. But keep in mind, that factors in sacks.
That's right.
When you talk about quarterback rushing yards. Richardson through the air, and the catch is made for a first down. Aggies go to Tony Harrison, a true freshman wideout from Houston Forest Brook, the backup, had split into Gary Oliver. Richardson perfect on that sideline throw, and the Aggies into Horned Frog territory at the 49.
If you're R.C. Slocum, this is exactly what you want. You want your quarterback to complete a couple quick passes. You want your running game to get off. You want your linemen to get off fast. And they're moving the football.
Back in the eye. Wilson with the fake and the pitch to Lewis. And again, they were ready. Up from free safety, Tony Rand, the sophomore from Aldine. And that's twice, Dave, they have buried Darren Lewis.
Well, one of the things that they're doing, TCU is elected to go wide with their defensive ends. Collins and Bolden are real wide. They're almost inviting them to run up the middle.
Well, you saw a surprise in our first check of the Dr. Pepper scoreboard. Kentucky 14-0 up on Tennessee. 2nd and 14. Lewis has lost 3 on one carry, 4 on that carry. He'll make up for it here. He is near the TCU 45. Rand again up from safety for the tackle. And for Darren Lewis, 1,428 yards coming in. Here's vintage Lewis.
Well, watch this. See, they're inviting him inside. See, Lewis sees that seam inside, and it's a big seam. You've got to really call upon your linebackers to play well when you play this type of defense. When you widen out and force them to run back in the middle, that middle linebacker's got to have an extraordinary day.
3rd down. Aggies need a long 6. And Richardson, under some pressure, will keep it. First down at the Frog 35-yard line. Bolden made the tackle. Bucky Richardson, the best Aggie weapon in this opening drive of the day.
Well, you cannot lose outside containment, and that's what they do. You see 41 there? That's Cauble. He gets caught inside. And around the outside comes Richardson. He's got plenty of room to pick up that first down. You cannot lose that outside containment on a running quarterback.
Aggies, a couple of long conversions. And set up 1st and 10. Shane Garrett in motion. Richardson, option keeper, inside the 30. They're double teaming for the stop over there. Brad Smith is middle linebacker. And the weak side backer, Jason Cauble. Smith, a sophomore from Houston, St. Thomas, big hitter. They got several on the TCU defense. They have been bothered by injuries just like their offense. Already 20 yards for Richardson. The Aggie injury questions had mainly to do with their top blockage. Pappas doubtful with a knee at left guard, but he started. Mike Arthur questionable with the knee problem at center, and he started. Fullback Wilson smothered, maybe 2. And again, we'll have to convert on 3rd down. Cauble along with Reggie Anderson, the true freshman from Austin, LBJ, who started for Booker at strong backer.
Well, this is a big down for TCU on defense. They have the ball driven from the 20-yard line. They're at the 27-yard line. They've got to come up with a defensive play to stop this running game of Texas A&M.
Perfect today for the year. Aggies 46% on 3rd down conversions. So they call on Lewis, flag down, and with the 2nd effort, he might have the first at the 25. He needed just inside the 25. As Joe Thomas, our referee, will tell us whether the play stands. It will not. And Thomas's crew. So the Aggies thought they at least had earned a measurement for first down.
Well, this is an interesting call because if they let it stand, it'll be fourth down, but it'll be fourth down in about a foot.
Illegal procedure, improper alignment, offense, 5 yards, third down.
Take 'em back.
No, improper alignment, not enough men on the line of scrimmage.
Yes, exactly. That's what it was. They didn't have enough men on the actual line of scrimmage. Their wideouts, 2 of them were back off the line.
Well, with Tank and Bull, I don't think you want fourth and inches.
Well, that was the decision that they had to make, whether to take that fourth down. But I guarantee you, R.C. Slocum, with the confidence he has in this running game, was going to go for it.
Bucky Richardson not checking his watch there. He's got the plays written down on his wristband. They need 7 on third down. All day for Richardson, airs it out, and it is caught at the 1-yard line. Gary Oliver. "31 yards. Bucky Richardson, not known for his passing, but you see him throw one like that, and you have to question the reputation. Couldn't be better.
Well, Oliver really sets this ball up. He's the one flashing across to the right of your screen. And look at the position he keeps on the defender. He keeps it behind him, and he just keeps the ball, comes right in, just looks it all the way in, makes a nice tackle. Nice catch.
First and goal, Aggies. And a dive by Lewis for the touchdown. Darren Lewis, 13th touchdown this year, 35th of his career. And the extra point by Lane Talbot, 7-0 A&M.
Well, this is just line surge and Darren Lewis up and over. Watch that big line just surge, equal the blocks there. They double on the nose. Lewis finds that little seam, and in he goes for the score.
Big play for Slocum and the Aggies, the 31-yard connection to Texas A&M. They take the opening kickoff, drive at 80 yards. Lewis finishes the drive with the 1-yard dive. And as we said, the big play by Oliver to make the catch at the 1. Terry Venetoulias, redshirt freshman from Deer Park, with a high short kick to the 15. And the return by Sad Jackson, true freshman from Maynard. Matt Vogler, the junior from Tampa, took over as the starter for the Horned Frogs after the broken wrist sidelined Leon Clay for the year. The time Clay was hurt, he might have been the best quarterback in the conference, with apologies to Klingler. Vogler has put up some incredible yardage totals, but he's been bothered by the interceptions. He's thrown 7 in the last 2 games. And a dozen for the year. Frogs out of the eye. The tailback Modkins reversing field and will do well to only lose 1 or 2. The early penetration by the nose guard, John Miller, against little Curtis Modkins, 5'9", 177 sophomore from Marlin. Cedric Jackson is the slot back. They're really going to miss Richard Woodley, the freshman, out with a knee problem. Blackwell, Shipley, and McPherson, best receiving crew ever at TCU. Elliott, Sullivan, Breedlove, Marsh, and Alexander gets the start at strong tackle rather than Jody Morse. Earlier this week, Morse had been listed as the starter. And on second down, Vogler into traffic, picked off. Big yardage on the return, and a touchdown for Larry Horton. Matt Vogler asked for that one. There were 4 Aggies around his intended receiver. Larry Horton's first interception of his senior year. 35-yard touchdown and another Talbot extra point. 8:56 in the first quarter, and already 14-0.
Well, you're right. He throws it into a lot of traffic, but his receiver does a bad thing, too. He tips the ball straight up. Coaches teach those defensive backs, react to the ball. And you can see Horton come flying in there. There he is. Look at him. 4 right around that ball, and he takes it in for the score.
Stephen Shipley, the intended receiver. Horton makes it 14-0. And he will give it back again. Frogs with the wind at their backs in the first quarter, and another short kick by Venetoulias only to the 20-yard line. And the return up near the 35, 17-yard return by Toby Morey. Vogler, as we pointed out, had one receiver, Shipley, in the neighborhood. I think he hurt his shoulder on the play. There were 4 maroon jerseys, and Kerry Vincent, number 19, the man that deflected it to Larry Horton. The left shoulder is the one that was separated 3 weeks ago for Vogler. And to the surprise of just about everyone, he played the entire game against Texas last week. Safe up the middle for about 3. On the carry, Curtis Modkins. On the tackle, Anthony Williams. Finally get a chance to check the Aggie defense. They haven't been out there long. Jason Black, John Miller, Albert Jones in their 3-man front. Buckley, Williams, Coriat, and the great one, William Thomas, in the 4 backers. And Smith, Frazier, Horton, and Crooms. The interception specialist is Smith. He has tied the all-time conference career record. Vogler off the intended Michael Jackson. And it'll be 3rd and 7.
Well, in fairness to Vogler, let me say this. When you separate your shoulder, it throws everything off. I don't care how much courage he has. It has got to throw it off when you throw, because any movement at all, your left arm is going to hurt. He's getting the badge of courage today for playing, but he's got to perform also, because they don't have anybody behind him.
Protection is excellent until then, and Vogler turns it up, dives. He's going to be close for the first down. He's by the spot of the ball, got the first down near the 47-yard line. William Thomas, number 11, the outstanding senior from Amarillo, Palo Duro, the man that will knock Vogler out of bounds. This is really courageous.
Oh, it is, because he gets outside the containment. Now, a lot of quarterbacks, you see him do that slide where you don't touch him, but watch Vogler. He sees the red flag and just dives out and gets the first down. Maybe he doesn't realize that he's hurt.
4 records, including 690 passing yards in that game of the Astrodome. And on first down, wide open is Michael Jackson. And not bad yardage. First trip into Aggie territory at the 48. John Miller chased him down. Michael Jackson, a sophomore from Corpus Christi Miller, the leading receiver last year. 42 catches in the '89 season. That looks meager this year, because until Woodley went out, they had a chance to become the first Division I team ever with 3 60-catch men. Woodley finishes his freshman year with 56. Big yardage up the middle, and another Frog first down. Curtis Modkins rambling, and William Thomas chased him down.
Well, this is one of the few running plays, of course, when you have that one back in a triple shoot that you can run, and it's just like a sprint draw. See, he slides over. Now, once he gets to play, he's looking for the seam. He sees right away. Good pick up there by his off guard. Modkins makes a nice cut back. That's really the difference between that and the run and shoot. The run and shoot doesn't have that back. Back there can run that slide draw play.
Mike Sullivan, the quick guard, with the springing block. And Vogler intended for his tight end, Kelly Blackwell. The all-time Southwest Conference tight end, the receiving leader, if he gets 3 catches today. That would be a season record by any tight end in the conference. 3rd in the conference in the overall rankings this year with 63 receptions. Volunteers coming back on the Wildcats. 14-0 Aggies here. Frogs driving. 7:07 first quarter. 2nd and 10. Boy, again, outstanding protection for Vogler, and he delivers complete inside the 35. The slot back Cedric Jackson, the only senior in the skill position for the Frogs, and Kevin Smith, the left corner, drove him out. It'll be third and about 3.
Dave, that's the difference in this triple shoot and the run and shoot. That one was more like the run and shoot. No back there. It's not going to fool any one of those defensive linemen. There's nobody to run it other than a quarterback draw. So that's pure passing. Now they use that one setback.
Spotted the ball at the 34, so they need 4 on third down. And they may have drawn 2 Aggies offside. Crooms and Thomas were the Aggies who moved early. The question, of course, were they drawn?
Good voice inflection there by Vogler to come up and change that snap count. The one thing that you have to do is remind your offensive linemen when you get in that huddle, you have to say, listen, on 3, because they also get so used to going on 2.
Offside contact, defense, first down.
So a penalty-driven first down for the Frogs. At the conclusion of today's game, Dave and I will announce the Southwest Airlines player of the game. Keep that in mind along with us. 7-minute mark of the first quarter. Frogs at the Aggie 29. And this time Thomas on a blitz. Vogler just got it off. Modkins. Second effort to the 25. Magnificent stretch by Curtis Modkins after it looked like he'd lose 2 or 3. Marcus Buckley was the tackle.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. When Vogler turned around to run this screen play and throw it, he looked up and watch who's right in his face. He turns right there, and boom, is he going to get hit? Right after he lets go of the ball, there's William Thomas. Down goes Vogler again.
28th quarterback pressure this year by Thomas. That is a school record. Almost had his 14th sack of the year. Coming again. Vogler got it off. First down, 14-yard line. Underneath that pile for the Horned Frogs is Cedric Jackson. Another catch. Derek Frazier, the right corner from Sugarland, was the tackle. Pretty impressive drive, and Vogler having to shake off the touchdown interception return has done so.
Several excellent play selections. Those sprint draws where he runs that little slide draw up the middle. That's caught A&M off guard a couple times, and Vogler using his running ability to get outside.
Out of the eye, straight pitch. Modkins inside the 10, tiptoeing maybe toward a first and goal at the 5-yard line. Modkins at 4.4 yards per carry. This is the sophomore. The injury story thrust him into the picture because this was supposed to be the big senior year for Tony Darthard, and he never even made it out of early fall practice because of his knee problem. So Modkins, just a sophomore from Marlin, became really the sum total of the TCU running game.
I'll tell you this, he is a very durable back. When you look at the number of runs he's had, 188 runs coming into this game. The next leading rusher is like 19.
At mid-season, we had the number on Modkins on their pitches and handoffs. He had handled the ball 88% of the time. I don't think much has changed since then. Jim Wacker looking at first and goal at the 5-yard line. Vogler with the alley-oop and overthrown in the corner of the end zone. It was intended for Shipley. Frazier had the coverage. Shipley a good alley-oop target at 6'4".
Well, that would have been a tough catch for him to make because he was looking right back into the sun. Bright day here in this stadium.
Richard Copeland Slocum hoping his Aggie defense can hold. Second and goal. Out of the eye, they call on Modkins. He's got a hole. He's got a touchdown.
Modkins isn't springing right up either.
He's also got some cobwebs. He got belted by Larry Horton just as he crossed the goal line on the 5-yard scoring run to make it 14-6. And we'll see the hit right here.
Well, when you get down this close and he sees that little seam back inside, he plants right there, comes back inside. Now watch, right back inside. Now watch, just put the head down, and boom, there's the contact. Boy, that was quite a hit by Horton.
Helmet to helmet by the man they call Lick. He delivered one on Modkins. And trying to shake it off. We hope he's all right. Jeff Wilkinson is on to add the extra point. J.R. Graham is the snapper. Mike Nowak is the holder. And it is 14-7. Horned Frogs march right back, and we'll be back after these messages from Phillips 66. 14-7 Aggies. That's one of the more impressive drives we've seen all year when you consider the way this game started for Vogler and the Frogs. Jim Wacker saw the interception return of 35 yards by Larry Horton, but they come right back. 12 plays culminated in Modkins' 5-yard run, and he's still trying to shake off the cobwebs after the blow delivered by Larry Horton.
Oh, what a huge drive for Jim Wacker's team. They gained their confidence back on that drive. Anything else had happened, I guarantee that's when all the players start looking around at each other thinking, what else is going to happen to us? But they gained their composure, drove the ball a nice drive, scored a touchdown, and they're back in this football game.
Trey Beacon. Opening kickoff with 9 yards deep into the end zone. Randy Simmons decides to take this one out from 3 yards back, and he wishes he hadn't. He is buried at the 12-yard line, so the Aggies without field position. Adon Casas, 58, on the special teams tackle. Bucky Richardson, very impressive through the air, in particular, of course, the 31-yard strike to Gary Oliver to set up the 1-yard dive by Darren Lewis for the first Aggie touchdown. Aggies with Wilson ahead of Lewis in the I. Derek Ware slot right at the tight end spot, and Darren Lewis forward to maybe the 16. Tunji Bolden made the tackle. Be sure to stay tuned for halftime this afternoon. We will introduce the Phillips 66 Southwest Conference Player of the Week. In addition to Dave Rose, Southwest Conference all offense, all defense, offensive MVP, defensive MVP. Who did I left out?
Coach, and outstanding job.
And in the second quarter, the Bocce Koch team. We'll explain that in a moment. 2nd and 6. And the ball free. Wilson hit at the 20-yard line. They may say the ball was dead. One way or the other, the Aggies got it back. And in fact, it was Jason Rockhold, the left tackle, who made the recovery. Aggies -6. That's surprising for a team with as good a record as they have. And especially with the likes of people like Smith on defense.
Watch this ball just get ripped out here at the last second. Boom, there's the ball free. Now you just got to react and get to it. Boy, if they had come up with that football, would that have changed the complexion of this football game quickly?
Richardson on the roll, chased. Brad Smith from middle linebacker with the sack back near the 10-yard line.
Well, I want to tell you one thing. Brad Smith exploded through there. He didn't take the angle of pursuit trying to cut him off. He just ran him down. 6'3", 230. You don't think that you're going to move that quick, but that was an excellent rundown.
First time this afternoon, Sean Wilson is on for A&M. He is 1/10 of a yard behind conference leader Alex Waits. Anthony Hickman standing at the 47. And a low driving spiral back to the 45-yard line. Hickman with the return of a 45-yard punt of 11 yards. And the Frogs trailing by 7 in Aggie territory as they take over. 3.5 minutes in quarter number 1. game of the week for 1990. Aggies burst out on top 14-0 with just under 9 minutes to go in the quarter. Matt Vogler brought the Frogs right back. Modkin scored on a 5-yard run. Shook off the big hit by Larry Horton, and he is back in there as TCU takes over at the Aggie 44. And they call on Modkin, shifty feet, leads for 1 or maybe 2. John Miller, the nose guard, Dave, for the tackle.
I was just going to say, when you get field position like this, any coach will tell you have got to get points from it. The worst that Jim Wacker wants out of this position is to get a field goal try, because you don't get the ball that many times in your opponent's territory.
Jim Wacker's got the all-time pass offense in TCU history. And they call on it here on second down. Flags are down, and another Aggie interception by the same man who ran it in the first time, Larry Horton. Now we'll see if the flags wipe it out or not.
Boy, if you're an offensive lineman and you flinched on this, you don't want to go to the sideline, because they had drawn A&M offsides, and it's going to stand. They did not draw them offsides with a tackle or one of the guards moving. The nose guard and the left end. You can see the movement here as they comes out. He uses that voice again. You see the movement there, and on the left of your screen you see him jump across. Boy, that'll slow down the rush.
John Miller, the nose guard. The deflection there by Kevin Smith, and then the almost interception number 2 for Horton. Kentucky adds another one on Tennessee. Still first half. And near the 35-yard line. Short gain by Modkins. Thomas made the tackle. We want to take this opportunity to welcome those of you joining us on the Prime Network across the country. 2.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. 14-7. A&M over TCU, facing a 3rd down and 3. Dave Barnett along with Dave Rowe at College Station, Texas. Aggie land. Aggies have slight Cotton Bowl hopes. Frogs want their first winning record in 6 years. Modkin, first down, a lot more to the 22-yard line.
When you have those fast feet, and you can plant and keep those feet on the ground quickly, you can make cuts. You also have to have AstroTurf. Watch Modkins on this. When he comes around the outside, watch the plant. He sees the seam. It's going to be back to his right. Right in here, he plants. And now look, cuts right back. You see that little seam right there to the right? Again, avoids one there and picks up nice yardage. Boy, I'll tell you one thing. That is an excellent run. Very quick, very elusive. Small by a lot of standards, but he doesn't run like he's small.
First man through, not much. Cedric Jackson, the slot back in the I formation, the fullback for Jim Wacker. Looking for his first win in November since November 1st, 1986. It's been more than 4 years since TCU has won in November. Now the biggest reason, of course, is most of their tough games are in November. Houston, Texas, usually A&M. No gain for Jackson. 2nd and still 10. Blitz coming. Vogler throwing over the blitz. Has Modkins. And he's to the 17. John Miller chased him down. Another big 3rd down for Vogler.
Interesting that Vogler has not gone to Shipley or Kelly Blackwell. He's been dumping off to his backs, trying to avoid that rush. He knows the pressure that A&M is going to put on him, so he's using a lot of little short dump passes, hoping that they're going to catch him and get those linemen out in front and block.
Third down and 6 under pressure. Vogler way over his intended receiver near the goal line, Cedric Dickens. Vogler again trying to go to a man out of the backfield. And the Aggies hold. 4th down and 6. Wacker, as you mentioned, needs the 3 to get something out of the great field position. And this will be about about a 34-yard attempt for Jeff Wilkinson. He is 10 for 16 this year. Longest kick 45 yards and about a 15-mile-an-hour breeze behind him. Out of the hold of Nowak, plenty of leg and good. 14-10.
Score when you get that field position, and that's got to make Jim Wagner happy. Everything went wrong in those first two series. He's down 14-0. Now his offense has taken the ball, drove 64 yards in a well-designed drive. Now they get great field position, and again they capitalize on it. Yeah, I know he feels a lot better about his team right now than he did about 3 or 4 minutes ago. Never at a loss for excitement, is he?
Well, it's all the pressure on A&M.
Yeah.
And none on TCU. Anything they do is a surprise to everybody, and R.C. Slocum is aware of that. They're hoping for a tie today between Texas and Baylor. That game kicks off in about 15 minutes. And, of course, then the Aggies would have to defeat Texas in Austin 1 week from today. That scoring drive, 7 plays and 27 yards. Wilkinson's 11th field goal. And Beacon to kick. That was also a timely field goal because they had the win behind them for only 25 more seconds in the first quarter. Randy Simmons on the left, Doug Carter on the right. Again, deep for the A&M special team. Beacon again into the end zone, and Doug Carter struggles with it. Simmons it is. Salvages quite a bit out of near disaster. Up near the 20-yard line is Randy Simmons after a return of 20.
20-yard kickoff return.
And 20 seconds in the first quarter. As Richardson has had a strong first quarter. Lucky 2 for 2, 42 yards through the air. The big number defensively for TCU is that Darren Lewis has only 10 yards on 6 carries. Twice they dropped him for a loss. He's behind Wilson in the eye. And Richardson with the option to Lewis. Up is Larry Brown from left corner to chase him out of bounds. He got about 5 or 6 out of bounds with 14 seconds in the quarter.
Boy, there's no wonder they call him the tank. He's so compact. When he runs in there, he runs like a tank. It's a lot faster than what you would think a tank would be, but very compact, very tight in there, runs strong.
6-footer. I guess what he has in common with the other two in the top 3 all time for the conference in the rushing stats is that combination of power and speed. Campbell had it, Eric Dickerson had it. Richardson off the back foot this time. Almost was picked off by Tony Rand. He was trying to hit his tight end Derek Ware, and it would be 3rd and 4.
Well, that would have been an interesting pass had he been able to get that one there. He faked that belly into the line, and the linebackers came up, and he had a one-on-one situation going to the post. If he had been able to throw it in there, that would have been a huge play. Now, if you're TCU, you're thinking, hey, there's 11 seconds. If they throw an incomplete pass or they don't make first down, we're going to call a quick timeout so we give them the punt into the win.
Well, the Aggies have called this timeout.
Well, they know that it's a big play, too. They're going to be faced punting into the win.
They need 4 on 3rd down. Keep in mind they have the best rushing attack in the conference, 326 yards per game. That's the 4th best in the country. They are only 8th through the air. Second only to Houston in total yardage. They average 477 yards per game. And they average 32 points per game. Very potent. As Lewis enjoys his break. All-time NCAA rushing leaders. Darren Lewis has a great chance to move on up that list. In fact, an attainable goal for him today would be to pass Paul Palmer for 7th all-time. He needs 147 yards for that. He has averaged right at 143 yards this year. So a little better than average afternoon, and Lewis goes right on up that list. And then he, of course, has the Texas game next week. He needs a total of 317 yards to tie Earl Campbell for the best season ever by a Southwest Conference run. Richardson on the roll. 3rd and 4. Pressure comes. He will keep it out of one ankle tackle and may have the first down. The mark will be everything at the 30. 1 second left in the quarter.
Well, let me tell you what Richardson did when he came back. He saw that orange flag marker, and instead of just running out of bounds, he jumped up in the air, and it looked like he jumped right over top of the orange flag marker. Watch this. It's going to be a weak side roll. He's got no one out there. He's getting pressure. All of a sudden, he plants and says, uh-oh, I got to come back this way. Now he avoids a nice tackle right here. Right in there, he avoids a tackle. Now watch when he sees the orange flag. Right here, there's the orange flag, and look at it. See, right down there, he jumped over top of it.
Well, he needed to, because they do pick up the first down. And looking for the signals on what will definitely be the final, barring any kind of a penalty in the first quarter. Michigan State reputedly headed for the John Hancock Bowl in El Paso and Southern Cal. All that becomes official today. Unofficial for a couple of weeks. Robert Wilson